we'll do this with just natural light, just in case rainbows might go tumbling by. Okay, I have a journal from the better part of a year ago. It's from February, the Mayan February 9th, 2010. The Mayan day was 11 Jaguar, and it's got an intriguing title, Converting into God. Now, this has been a day or two ago, and so I don't remember what's in it. Let's find out together. Oh, this one. I am in such a sacred space that I don't even know if I can write from here. It is so powerful, though, so moving, that I seem to want to do something. So I will see if journaling is that something. I've given up on saying I'm different. You're just going to have to assume that I am always different, for that's the case. And I'm sure you are as well. Are you noticing? Perhaps it will slow down at some time, but for now, change, constant substantive change, seems to be the order of the day, the moment, the hour, the microsecond. Time fades away as anything with any meaning at all that relates to my state. Thus, I am always in a state of looking within and without to see that which is different, and something always is. Nothing remains static, unless maybe you're expecting it to and you're creating that. If it seems to, I know it is only a seeming, and I just have to look a little closer. I am converting into God. That is the only way any of this makes any sense, any higher sense. Like time, I also gave up a while back on the mental mind and anything it considers as sense or sensible. It can have its opinions all at once, and it does, but they are unimportant to me. They don't count. Thus, even the word sense for me means something much deeper than what I call mind, by which I mean the mental mind. I do recognize that there is a deeper, a different sort of mind available, but I am not yet sufficiently familiar with or adept with its usage to comment on it. I only know it exists, and I am grateful. Okay, that was a very large statement. I am converting into God. Don't know how I can stand behind it, but I don't care. It feels true and real to me, so I let it stand. This doesn't make me any more special than any other one who walks or has walked the earth, however. We are one, and all are, and I just lost my place, all are God at the core. What is different, perhaps, is that I once would have said all are of God at core rather than all are God at core. There's a definite difference, and though it seems slight, it is anything but. It is like the mind, which cannot know a thing, it can only know about a thing. It must forever remain external to the thing. This thing with God, or Source, or Great Spirit, whatever term one is comfortable with, this thing is different, way different though. It sort of takes you over. Heck, it takes you over. It drives you, and it comes from such a deep place and space that you'd far rather die than deny this drive. Nothing else is even possible but the answering of this call, the becoming of this one, this God. This is somewhat strange territory for me. Eckhart Tolle and others before him, such as Anthony de Mello, speak of being danced, of being the dance that God, Source, or Spirit dances. I've been in that state pretty much for some time now. It comes on one by stages generally, and it's been that way with me. My whole life, at least since early teen years, has been a slow march in this direction that got intenser and more self-consuming in the sense of consuming the lesser self as the years rolled by. Nothing else was found to satisfy, and Source was always found to be deeply fulfilling, so over the years it has blossomed into a veritable love affair with Source, with God. It has now reached the point where nothing on earth holds any interest for me outside of its relationship to Source. Only as all things are Source, are that in manifestation, do they hold my attention. I even find myself in them somehow. It's queer. I am love, but a love so strange, it seems to have nothing in common with the term as it's used in colloquial speech. I'm becoming one with everything, all life, all matter, all of cosmos. Yes, it's rather queer, but it can't be helped. It just seems the natural progression of this love affair. I'm not complaining. I do try to keep up with this, whatever it is. I make the effort, but it's seldom enough, as my Lord is always out ahead of me somehow, teasing me on. It's a delightful game, really, but it's oh so serious, too. I just hope I keep making sense to people, because I seem to be leaving regular consciousness so far behind more and more. I am so very often in a quite different space, one that rather limits the circle of those who would understand what I have to say. Oh well, it is what it is. Even if there was not one person alive I would make sense to, I would still follow this path, take this walk. It is not possible to be anything else than what I am called, am driven to be. I will give it up for no man, no woman, or child, no thing, unless my Lord would guide me that way. That's all that counts anymore, is where my Lord leads. I know I'm not keeping up with the changes, with understanding them very well at all, but I'll just have to wait for that higher mind to kick in for that. These things simply are not at all comprehensible to the mental mind. I live in heart, and they're comprehensible there, but not communicable. Heart doesn't speak in words so much, for words are only about things. In heart, one is things, one enters into things, and the communication, if there is any, is in the being. Speaking seems superfluous. In heart, too, one just knows things. They just are, and one knows. One doesn't necessarily understand much or even anything about this knowing. One doesn't think to dissect and examine it, not at all. One has no need for more than one has. One is content, fulfilled. More is just not necessary. Thus, heart does not translate well into words. Thus, too, the aforementioned concern with continuing to make sense to people. Oh, well, I gladly and lovingly accept what comes. I am quite given over to love, to Source already, anyway? My fate lies in his hands, her hands, its hands, their hands, whatever. They don't have hands anyway. See? Words. I am so deeply content with this that it is rather amazing. This is truly a peace that surpasses all mental understanding. It stands so far high and above anything mental as to be gold in the presence of dung. There is no comparison. It just doesn't make sense. I am grateful to be here, of course, though it is a strange land whose landscape is quite unlike the former life, yet I am glad to have made it thus far. Though things on the surface seem much the same, I know I am changed, deeply changed within, and I eagerly await whatever is in store. As I am danced, and as higher mind has not yet kicked in with any force, I am led along rather blindly, but that is fine. I submit and surrender gladly, having come to complete trust in the divine dancer. Though I may yet stumble and fall a time or 22, that too is fine, for I am learning my dance steps and expect to falter now and then. It is a part of the human condition, is it not? Besides, I think sometimes those things that seem to be mistakes aren't. They're a part of the dance too. But heck, what do I know? I do not know anything much anymore.